Hello and welcome to another Game Nexus video. Today we're going to be taking a look at a Christmas game for this year. Well, it's not really a game, it's a demo. This is actually called Sega GT 2002 Christmas version. This was on the official Xbox magazine demo disc 14 in the United States. It probably was on a different disc in the UK. You have your choice of the Charger, the Mustang, or that weird car on the end. You car people probably know more about that than I do. But it was January 2003 was the demo date on this. So if you have that demo disc, you can actually try this out. It's basically a modified version of Sega GT 2002, featuring only one level, which is this holiday level, which you see all the candy canes and all the decorations. And if you listen very closely in the background, it's like this very hard rock version of Jingle Bells playing in the background. And before I go any further, I'm going to say right ahead of time here, I'm not good at racing games. I really am not, especially with the standard controller. I've played some where I was actually halfway decent with the racing wheel, but what you see happening right now, the only reason I'm doing even halfway decent in this game is because what you see here is after about an hour of doing this level over and over again, I was able to get a little bit better because I figured out all the little shortcuts. Like you saw that part right there that I just cut through that section. Normally you wouldn't want to do that, but it seemed to help in this. And another thing I found in this game is if you just drive in front of your opponents, it slows them down and sometimes even causes them to get so slow that they're further behind you. But the key thing in Sega GT 2002, well at least this version, I'm not sure if it's the same as the full game, but the key thing to do here is to stay in front of your opponents. If they try to bump into you, it'll basically be like hitting a wall. They won't be able to move in front of you, just like if you hit any other cars. This isn't like a more modern racing game where if you hit another car, you'll crash and it'll cause the other racers to get all swerving and everything. No, they just stop, and yeah, nothing happens there. Well, to give you a bit of background on Sega GT 2002, of course, just like its prequel on the Dreamcast, was developed by WoW Entertainment, and of course it was published by Sega, which, honestly, when I first heard that, I thought that was weird. I'm thinking to myself, it's Sega GT, and it's not made by Sega. That's just one of those weird things. It's made by some other company, and Sega just slapped their name on it and put it on the disc. But basically, this game was actually intended to originally be on the Sega Dreamcast, but it, due to the Sega Dreamcast demise, the game was reprogrammed for the Xbox. And that's what we see in front of us right now. Of course, everybody knows that eventually what they started doing is Sega had a special pack for the Xbox where you would get not only Sega GT 2002 but Jet Set Radio Future both in the same disc along with your Xbox, for no extra price. So that was actually a pretty good deal at the time, and the actual official release date of Sega GT 2002 in North America was September 2nd, 2002. In Japan it was September 12th, 2002, and in PAL regions it was November 8th, 2002. And, yeah, they later released a multiplayer version for Xbox Live called Sega GT Online, which was more or less the same game, and as you can see there, as I had mentioned, I was able to finish first because I basically had played this race, must have at least been 10 times over and over again. I tried it with the other cars like the Charger and that futuristic looking car, but honestly, the futuristic car, it just simply went way too fast for me to hold on to control, and the other car just handled just horribly, honestly. So yeah, I switched to this car instead and didn't have any problem. After a while, once I got used to it, when you see this replay here, you'll see how terribly bad I truly play here. And then you can see those candy canes in the corner a little bit better since you're not seeing me speed past them this time. And during this replay, they're actually telling you a little bit about the car scrolling across the screen, which was kind of cool. But what I was saying is the Sega GT Online game was released about a year later. So in North America, you got your January 27, 2004, you got Sega GT Online. In Japan, it was a little bit before, it was December 25th, 2003, and in PAL regions, of course, it was a bit later, February 6, 2004. Interesting side note about Sega GT Online is it got a teen rating due to the unpredictability of online people. So they gave it a little bit of a high rating just in case people cursed at you, more or less. But for an Xbox game, this game looks halfway decent. But, you know, compared to some of the later games in its history, especially like the Forza games, it's not all that much to look at, because you gotta understand, the graphics you see ahead of you were really just developed for Dreamcast. So, they more or less had to upscale them a little bit and make them look a little better for the Xbox, so people wouldn't be like, oh, this is a Dreamcast game. So basically it didn't have the feeling of the graphic style of that one game Galleon, which was a game that was in development for, I believe, like 10 to 12 years or so. And you can tell by how the models were made that that game was intended for Dreamcast. Not saying that it was a bad thing, but yeah, the art style was just arranged for the Dreamcast. The only thing that bothers me a little bit about this demo is the candy canes. If you look at them closely, a few of these close-up shots you got is, instead of being perfectly round on top, they're all pointed and stuff. They couldn't make a round candy cane. I guess it was just a really quick job on those. They just made one candy cane model and just repeated it. I always think that's weird. Canon is the official camera supplier. What, of the game? Do we need real cameras for a digital game? Or maybe it's because they provided the cameras for the motion capture and everything. Who knows? But yeah, this is showing you the replay. It has more of a cinematic view, so you'll see all like pretty looking vistas and everything, how cool it looks. That's another time just right there that I almost lost it, if you saw that. There's a few times in this where the car basically fishtails and I'm almost unable to stay control. But basically that's Sega GT Holiday Drive, or as the title screen says, Christmas version. And I hope everyone has a happy holidays and a Merry Christmas, and I shall see you guys later.